Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, coming to you. That's the cards shuffling up live tonight on a nice cold evening in the city of New York, the city that never sleeps, which is why, as an old friend of mine used to say, it looks so terrible in the morning, although he didn't say terrible. I just like to keep it a little cleaner. Oh, gosh, this is getting to be a very strange town. A lot of stuff going on. I did something. I had culture shock this week. I did something I almost never do. I took a cab. It was I had to do a little traveling in Manhattan, and it's fun to do it by bus because you can it's easy, and the buses are very efficient, and they you can watch. It's good for people watching, but getting a bus in like 14th Street, which is the edge of Greenwich Village, and 6th Avenue, otherwise known as the Avenue of the Americas, but nobody calls it that. That can be very difficult. And I was lucky enough while I was waiting for a bus for a cab came by, and I decided to take it. And I only had to go roughly 2 miles, just a little under 2 miles. And the meter hit $30. $30, like 15 cents under. That was, $29.85. That was culture shock, folks, because I don't think I ever paid that much for outside of a limo, But gasoline is at $5 a gallon here now, and these guys buy the gasoline here. And I'll tell you, I almost killed the cab driver because I gave him an extremely generous tip. And I mean, a good tip. And he seemed good, and so good that a New York cab driver said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, yes." One time that happened to me, and a cab driver said, "Are you sure?" And I thought I was giving him. This was in the '80s. I thought I was giving him $5, and he said, "Are you sure?" And I thought, "Oh, he was sarcastic, SOB." And when I got home, I saw that I was short a 20. So he was trying to point out to me that I had handed him a 20. And ever since then, I've learned that martinis and taxis don't mix. But yeah, that was a bit of culture shock. And then I got whipped into the past. I don't like the past. I just don't. I'm not afraid of very many things in life at all. But I mean, obviously, the number one fear that many people have in America, if not the world, is public speaking, and I pretty much got that licked. But what scares me is the past. I used to say to people, because people are always afraid of something being killed by somebody who hates them or something. And I said, don't worry about that. Because in my experience, the people you got to look out for are the ones who say they love you, not the ones who hate you. The ones who hate you, you can see that coming a mile away. But I did get thrown into the past, and I don't like the past because the past, to me, is just full of dangerous people who, somebody said, the past is a different country. The past is another country. They do things differently there. I have a feeling that is the epigram for an officer and a gentleman. I don't recall. Is that the one? Or the French lieutenant's woman? I knew it's something military. But yeah, so I try to avoid the past unless I'm doing a specific time travel meditation. Then I like it, but because then I can control it. But I was putting together an ad, and I was using a likeness of the Green Hornet and Cato. So that took me back a long time. And I remembered I'd learned a very important lesson when I was about 9 years old. And I thought I would just relay that to you. Some of you may have seen it on my Facebook page. I just put it up, a cursory version of it. But there was a kid here at PS 87, which is the William Tecumseh Sherman Elementary School. And try explaining that to your friends in the South, that you went to William Tecumseh Sherman Elementary School. There's a really nice, wonderful guy named Jeffrey who he owns the Charles Atlas Company, the exercise thing. And I used to chat with him frequently. and we just kind of drifted apart. But he he was a little astonished when I mentioned that I went to the William Tecumseh Sherman Elementary School, because he's from the South, and I won him back though when I made a reference to the War of Northern Aggression. So I saved that one. That's a rule of mine: is don't annoy bodybuilders, because you don't know. You've seen these guys, But the Charles Atlas thing is very good. It's good. It's very healthy for you. It's very good exercise. It's wonderful stuff. I was in the best shape of my life when I was doing the Charles Atlas stuff, and I got very sick. And I thought, oh, great, just isn't that perfect? Now I'm in great shape, and now I'm sick. And then I realized, yeah, that is perfect. That's the time to get sick, is when your body can handle it. Anyway, this plays into my reminiscence, because there was in William Tecumseh Sherman Elementary School a Chinese boy. And I won't mention his name because I don't want to throw any publicity. I mean, he may want not this to be known, you know what I mean? So let's, and you never know who's listening. And it's always very odd when people from your past show up, and I don't want to do that to him. Well, in any case, he was a nice little kid, and fun to be around, and slender, and he would argue occasionally with the teachers because the teachers didn't understand his birthday, which in his culture, when you're born, you're already considered about a year old, because you've been gestating for 9 months. It was interesting. And his first name, his given name, was his last name. But the teachers got used to him eventually. Well, there were a lot of kids who bullied him. I mean, really bullied him badly. And they would shove him around. They would mock him. I know we didn't have many Asians in the public school system back then, but this was just how children can be cruel. I'm talking about 9-year-olds, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and they used to abuse him, really, push him around. Well, around the time that Bruce Lee became popular, a friend of mine and I thought it would be awful fun to take a look at a self-defense class to see how that works. Now, there's a famous grocery store here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan called Fairway, and next to that used to be, they've expanded the Fairway place now, but used to be a Tom McCann shoe store, and above that was a self-defense academy. So my friend and we can't be more than 10 years old tops. I think we were 9, actually. And we went in there. The kids were unsupervised in those days, and we turned out okay, I hope. But we went into the martial arts thing, and there we saw something that blew our minds. And I know that's a late 60s expression, but that's what it was. We saw our friend from a Chinese family, 9 years old, like us, giving a lesson to a room full of students. And he was throwing them around the room, and he was having them grab him, and then he was breaking out of their holds, and he was smashing wooden planks with his hands. I mean, this kid was dangerous, and my friend and I were aghast. When it was over, a friend came over to us and said hi, and my friend couldn't help himself. Said to the kid, the Chinese kid, "You can do that. Why don't you just beat up the kids who are bullying you and pushing you around?" And we learned a very important lesson that day. The kid said, "Why bother?" So, okay, I guess he knew he could do it, It's like when they say the meek shall inherit the earth. Now, that's a thing that's misinterpreted. In that context, in those days, the word meek meant somebody who was extremely strong and powerful, but chose not to use it. It wasn't like a little mouse, we think meek is a little mousy guy, No, the meek were the people who could break you and just decided not to. And that was this kid, it was just fascinating. So why bother? Well, of course, we had never made fun of him and pushed him around anyway, but we kind of made it known as best we could without spilling the beans to the other kids who were thinking of going after him and teasing him and pushing him around, that they might just want to reconsider that option and not do that. And they would say, well, why not? And of course, we would say, okay, just do what you got to do, and hope that they never found out why not, because this guy, I mean, this kid was dangerous, and he knew he could put an end to it all, but he didn't, he just said, what difference does it make, And that was a fascinating attitude, and that comes from strength. You see, that comes from real strength. The bullies don't have real strength. They project power, but they don't really have it. That's why it's easy to stop a bully. It's very easy to do that. We were experts at that, my wife and I, when we ran a newspaper, because there's a lot of people who used government to bully people, and we just exposed it, and that was that. So, but yeah, as far as I know, this guy never dropped anybody, but he could have. I guess just knowing that was enough. You see, that's an interesting lesson. And now that goes to one of the roots of magical power. With magic work, you can do things to people if you really wanted to, but why bother? Now, you got to consider these things very carefully. For instance, there's something I've talked about before. A lot of people are interested in romance when it comes to magical work, and they'll ask, could you do a love spell? And I explain to people, and you'll see this even at my website, magic-works.com, magick-works.com, that love spells are black magic. If you're going to make somebody love you, first of all, you got to have a little self-respect. If somebody doesn't love you, you don't want to, put a hex on them and make them love you, because that's, come on. That's that you want to earn that. You don't want to do it by cheating. I'm hesitating because I'm about to sneeze. I'm having such nose problems. There, I hit the sneeze button just in time, I hope. I think you might have heard that, even if I'd unplugged the microphone. That was a whopper, I tell you. But yeah, black magic, no can do. No, not good. And you can read why at my website, magic-works.com. magick-works.com, if you want to know a little more. Now, there are, you can email me at asktaro@earthlink.net, but there are things you can do magically in terms of spurring romance coming your way, such as doing some kind of rituals that will attract to you the kind of person who happens to be looking for somebody like you. And even that can be a little dangerous. As you'll read if you look at my website. I'm going to tantalize you with that. I won't tell you that story. Maybe I'll tell it next week. But I don't want to spend too much time babbling, because I missed so many shows when I was not feeling well, and I'm so glad to be back and almost completely strong again. And I'll tell you why I mentioned missing all these shows, because I think of this as a moral obligation now. I missed so many shows last year that I've actually decided that for the next, well, it was a New Year's special, but I'm keeping it going. I'm going to charge 50% of my usual rates for doing personal readings, because I couldn't do any readings while I was ill. If I can't do the show, I certainly can't do one-on-one readings with people over the phone or over Skype or in person. So since I was out of service, the least I could do is make up for it by offering tarot readings, individual readings at half price. You can see my rates are not very expensive anyway, but you can go to magick-works.com. Again, MAGICK, I spell it the old-fashioned way, -works.com. And at the homepage, you can see it, or the rates, or you can look at the page that says tarot reading and see it there. And there's a big reminder there to look at those great prices and then slash them in half. And that's just my way of thanking you for remembering me. That helps a great deal. because I've been away for so long. Well, let's see. What can we do here? We're all shuffled up. I've told you the story about the little kid who could have made mustard out of anybody he wanted to. He could have plattered them all over the wall. Why don't we do this? I'm all shuffled up. Let's just go right to the readings. How's that? I'll ring a bell 3 times now so that we can declare sacred space. And remember, because I probably won't mention it again till the end of the show, that my private reading sessions are now half off. Just check that price out. It didn't sound as melodic as I like, but it's 3 rings. And that is to signify that we are now entering sacred space where we will be looking through the magical window. And the first call is Megan in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Well, let's see if we can make that a little
be better.
Yeah, what can I look at for you?
Just general.
Just a general reading? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some interesting cards here. Are you trying to get some new things going in your life?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've got a couple of cards here about exactly that. It's the 2 of coins and the 3 of rods. Those are about waiting for things to yield results in terms of money and in terms of career, but overall it could be anything in that sense. The star is a card here too that's very important because that's a card of hope and optimism. So it's good. You know, you're looking good.
I love that.
Something coming. Now there's another card here which is interesting. It's the Devil card. This is not.
Oh no.
No, it's not about demons and monsters and all that. It's about a very charming person who's powerful, who can do a lot for you, and you can do a lot with this person. But there's a warning not to be too attracted to the person because you can be chained to the person. You know, it's a whole different thing in terms of it's not evil, if you know what I mean. It's just like that as somebody who's very charismatic and persuasive, and somebody that you know or you're going to meet, and you can do good things there, but just be careful not to lose yourself. That's the warning in it. You see,
Yeah.
but you will get good results out of it. I have the Page of Swords here. That's telling me that you're changing the way you're thinking, that your mind is expanding and growing. Do you feel that happening?
I do.
Because this is a very good period for you. So that is the results that you're waiting for are tied in with the fact that you're seeing the world differently. I have the 8 of Swords here, which says that you have felt restricted in the past, but the Judgment card here, which is a card of rebirth, tells me that you're not going to feel that way. Even if you still feel that way now, you're not going to feel that way for long. And what you're looking for is going to be coming very soon because I have the 8 of Rods, and that is about something that's in motion and it's headed your way now. So overall, you know, it's telling me that you may end up in the orbit of a very powerful person. And it's just a warning here, the Devil card, not to lose yourself in all that. It's not something about selling your soul to the devil. It's not, you know, that's not what this is about. It's just it's a warning though not to be overly hypnotized by a person, if you know what I mean. But you can
I know exactly what that means.
Good, because there's a lot of smooth talkers out there, you know, and that's what we're getting at. But you're going to I see that this card has been coming up a lot lately in the readings that I do. It's the 10 of Cups, and that's about perfected happiness and joy and a happy home and all kinds of things. So things are looking very good for you. It's just not started yet, but it will soon. Okay?
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to look at?
No, that's good.
Okay, that looks pretty good to me, especially the optimistic stuff and the happy ending there. So don't
It's a
just
big
remember
change
the
from readings before.
pardon.
It's a big change from readings I've had before.
Well, yeah, because things grow, and it's worth doing. We know we kind of frown on asking the same question over and over again. But if time goes by, of course you're going to want to look at. It's like looking out the window as you drive. A little later, you want to see what's there now. And here's one more card I got for you, which is very good, which is the Sun, which is about health and healing and growth and happiness. I think according to these cards, you're going to be doing just fine.
Oh,
Okay, and it's in the works now. Now I know that card about feeling restricted can be difficult because you had the Two of Coins and the Three of Rods, which this is about trying to get something going and get it moving and get it working and waiting for results. And that can be difficult. But you just keep in mind that the ultimate here, the ending is happiness and healing and health and growth and all of that. That's all that good stuff. So the difficulties that you're facing on your journey are going to wash away, and you're going to be getting what it is you want.
thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye bye now. And let's shuffle them up. You see, this is a good reading. It's like as a kid on Christmas Eve is how I would describe that reading. It shows that there's things coming, that something's happening, and it's going to be good. If something's happening and it's going to be bad, I would definitely tell you anyway. For all of you people who are horror movie aficionados, where somebody cuts the cards and then they all die, that doesn't happen. Usually, and I'll tell you why, I have a theory about this. Usually, readings turn out very well for people. They almost never are bleak. And I think that's because you're asking a question. And the people who you can't solve a problem or understand a situation if you don't acknowledge it. And in order to ask somebody about a situation, you have to acknowledge it. And that's the first step towards working something out. And that's why so many of these readings are so boringly positive and happy. What would I do? I mean, there's only one time I've been doing this for this is my 13th year doing this on Ask on Radio. And before that, I was reading cards anyway. And in all that time, I only once on an Ask on Radio show saw something I didn't want to discuss with the person on the radio here. It was too deeply personal what I saw. So I asked the person to contact me off the air, and we'll do it privately, no charge, because that was my choice. But I assured her not to be alarmed. It wasn't anything hideous. It's just something that I didn't think she'd want to share with the audience. And I'm not going to give you any hint as to what it was. But yes, she did appreciate that. Well, we're all shuffled up again. Cameron in Sydney, New South Wales is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello, Reverend Eliot. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight? Or today? I guess
yeah, well, thank you.
It's the afternoon where you are, I guess.
It sure is.
Well, we're coming up to midnight here in the city of New York. So what can I look at for you there in the future?
I'd like to know just what you see in the future in regards to my development with my current mediumship.
Okay. Well, the first card I have is Justice. Then whenever I get that, I ask, are you involved in any legal proceedings?
No.
Okay, because it's not always, but sometimes that does mean that. It's also in a broader sense getting what you deserve.
Okay.
Which can be good or bad, but the cards seem positive to me here. This is very similar to the reading I had before with somebody, which is acceptance. I have the Two of Coins and the Two of Rods. The person who was just before you had the Two of Coins and the Three of Rods, but they're almost identical. that there's
Okay.
something you're working on and it's coming to fruition, but you need to wait. You need, and it's about work and it's about money. But
Okay.
you're going to have there's. Are you looking for work right now?
Not at the moment. I'm not.
Because according to this, there's going to be work coming your way, and it'll be like a temporary, uh, not a temporary job so much as a specific project. So it could be
Okay.
new or it could be in the work that you do now. But you will do this assignment and you will succeed at it. You will be rewarded for it, and it will lead to other things. And then that's followed by the King of Coins. I've got three coin cards here, so there's money in this enterprise or whatever it is that you're waiting to have happen, and it's going to be good for you financially, is what I see.
Okay.
You're an intuitive person. I have the Moon card here, which is a card of unconscious thoughts and dreams, and I see that it's what's happening under the surface in your mind that helps you get to where you want to be. Well, the Ace of
Yeah.
Swords is here, and that's very good. The Ace of Swords is about new ideas and new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things. So you're you're trying to get something going kind of entrepreneurially, I guess, and it looks like it'll be very successful, especially because
Oh, right.
first you'll know that this is coming to pass because you're going to be getting a job that is, I don't want to say it's a temporary job, but it's a definite assignment with a goal, and you're going to achieve that goal, and you're going to do it so well
Okay.
that you'll be rewarded for it amply. And
Oh,
one
fantastic.
one one more card is the Six of Swords, which means you're getting from where you are to where you want to be. You're doing that, and you're going to get where you want to be because the image
Right.
on this is a person propelling a boat from rough water to calm water. So that's good. And then I have
Okay.
the Ten of Swords, followed by the Four of Rods. Now that's important. The Ten of Swords means that troubles, hard times, that's over. You're entering a better period where the troubles are finished, and the Four of Rods is a sign of happiness. So you're
Great.
working at this. You're working at this. You're using your own mental abilities. That's the important part. And you're getting what you want. You see what you want. You know how to get it, and you're going to get it. And it'll be a just thing. You deserve it. It's what the
Okay.
cards are showing. Okay, that's
Brilliant.
it's kind of
All
that's
right.
exciting.
Thank you, Reverend Eliot. That all definitely resonates with me with what's going on for me. So it's a great reading.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye now. And let's shuffle them up again. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, the rather pompous name for the program where a loudmouth shuffles the cards and just gibbers on and talks and talks and talks. But that was a great reading. I mean, see, there, these are rough times economically. I mean, when a taxi ride in New York City costs $30, it's tough times. But tough times bring out the resourcefulness in people. Either you give up or you excel. It's almost like you can't really tread water. You got to sink or swim. To coin a cliche, right? But these kind of times bring out a lot in people. You see, this is what I've found in these last few readings, and this has been happening in private readings also, which is people are finding resources within themselves that they didn't know they had. They suspected they might have it, but they didn't really know. And now they know because they've needed to make these things happen. This is the kind of thing that happened with so many people who start a new business and hopefully know what they're doing. There's a statistic that says like 90% of new businesses fail. That's utter rubbish. Actually, it's that of the businesses that fail, like 90% of them will fail in the first year. But that's not the same as 90% will fail. I mean, let's face it, if that were true, you wouldn't know anybody running businesses in your area. So don't let that disrupt you. And starting a business is nice and challenging, but you've got to work it out on paper. I'm a firm believer in that, which is kind of odd because when I started as a writer, um, I when I started as a writer, there was another writer was astonished that I don't make an outline. I just go along and do it. And she couldn't believe that I didn't use an outline, and I didn't. Well, that was a bone of contention, and this person didn't like that and then stopped speaking to me. Now, do you see how people are? But that's how I work. Now, that's with writing. Other than that, in other things in life, I draw up business plans, and that is like an outline. I'm very methodical. I'm Capricorn, right? I'm quite methodical. This is why when I showed up at the improvisation, the almost now legendary comedy club in New York City, when I showed up in 1979 there, the owner, she said to me, "You're a Capricorn, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." "How do you know?" I said, "Because you're in this, and I can tell you're in this for the long haul. You're going to do this until you get what you want." And I was working out of that place for 10 years. Now, I didn't become a household name as a performer, but people in the business knew who I was, and I did get work as a writer, which astonished a lot of people who knew me there. And they said, "I thought you never, we didn't think you took this very seriously." Of course, the response to that was, "I was here for 10 years. How could I not take it seriously?" It's just because I made it look easy and made it look like I was having fun, Now, the moral is just apply yourself and know what your goal is. Write it down, do it in stages, get a business plan going, and you can do anything. It's who Archimedes was the one who said, "If you give me a lever long enough, and I'll move the world." I believe that, which is it's kind of odd because I was an intuitive writer. I still to this day don't know how to read a play. I've written plays, I've written screenplays, I've written stage plays. I've been a play doctor. I came in and helped other people write them as a dramaturge. But I can't read a play really and get it. I just can't. Some people can do it. I can't. To me, it's just it's a lot of lines of dialogue. It's an absolute failing on my part. Which, of course, is why when I was doing screenwriting, I wasn't doing it alone. I had a strong producer. Trust me, a pain in the neck is what he was. So I had guidance, but always look for that guidance. And if you can find somebody who can be a mentor, go for it. Hey, we're getting into real mundane stuff here, but you see, I believe that you shouldn't be doing spiritual, magical work until you take care of the mundane stuff. That's why, for instance, for the last couple of years, as I mentioned in the show last week, I haven't been doing much in the way of magical studies because, as you all know, in your life too, the last few years have been a matter of intense practicality. We had a lot of troubles thrown at us. And hey, folks, we're still here. So give yourself a round of applause for still being here. Right here. Let's give that here. There you go. Because these last few years have been abysmal in many ways. But that's, like I said, tough times bring out resourcefulness. Let's get back to the readings. We've hit the halfway mark. Let's go to Kelly in Cape Coral, Florida. Hi, Kelly. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Well, let's see if we can make that better, okay? What can I look at for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What can I...
So I've been seeing a lot of signs from the universe, like sequential numbers and other things. And I just know that the universe is trying to reach out and talk to me, and I don't know what it's trying to tell me.
Well, there you go with that's meditation is a good thing for, to meditate on what's happening and see what you feel. Because yes, one of the things to keep in mind, though, is not to separate yourself from the universe or universe. who was it? Was it not Robert Anton Wilson? I don't remember who it was. Never referred to the universe, but you referred to universe.
Okay,
Probably,
gotcha.
I think it was Buckminster Fuller, who was operating on a different wavelength from almost any human being who ever lived. But
Hmm.
see, this is one of the things that kills me about environmentalists. A lot of them act as though they're separate from the environment and that they are
Hmm.
going to do something to the environment that they think is good for the environment. They don't realize that they are the environment. And when you
That's
feel
true.
that, then a lot opens up. And meditation can do that. You can find some interesting. What is it that you want to see? Where do you
Um,
sense this is going?
well, so there might be a job opportunity coming. I'm not really happy with the current job I'm in, and I have an interview next week for a new job, and
Yeah.
I just
Well,
want to make sure I'm going in the right direction. And I don't know if
first
I
of
should
all,
stay at my
let me
old job or.
let me just stop you right there because as soon as you started telling me this, I started pulling some cards out, and the cards I got were
Mhm.
rods, and rods are about work and career. So the cards are with
Okay.
you. The first one is the
Okay.
five of rods, and that's about stiff competition. And of course, whenever I see that, to me, it means that somebody is out in the market looking for another job.
Okay.
The next card is the Four of Rods, and that's about happiness and fulfillment and enjoyment. And that's followed by the Ace of Cups. So it's telling me that what you're looking for in terms of work and what you're going to find is something that's more emotionally rewarding than that's more important to you than simply merely money. How's that? Is that
Hmm.
the kind of person you are?
Yes. Yes, that definitely
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, because that's you'll do that. You're going to find that. I have
Perfect.
the nine I have the nine of coins here that tells me that you're a person who is comfortable in her own being, that you're at peace with yourself. A lot of
Hmm.
people misinterpret that as a card of loneliness, but it's a card of being uh, okay with being solitary. That's not the same as that. It's not the same as loneliness. It's that
Right.
you're not one of the people who must have other people around all the time.
Exactly.
Again
Yes.
and again, there's the Ten of Cups. This is just another one of these dull, happy, extremely happy readings. So what I'm seeing here, oh, and there's money, good money. Okay, what I'm seeing here is the Ace of Coins, and the Page of Coins, and the Two of Coins, and there's the Page of Cups. You see, so there is going to be, while primarily you're concerned with a job that gives you emotional well-being, you will be well
Hmm.
paid. That's what I'm seeing, and
Okay.
more
Right.
power to you because
Right.
being well paid today is almost like minimum wage. You have to have a
Hmm.
lot of money to even just get by. That
Yeah,
it
definitely.
I mean, it blows my mind to think about so many years ago that I was able to live and support somebody and live with somebody for like $12,000 a year. It's in
Yeah.
Manhattan. It's shocking, but this it look I this has money and emotional well-being all over it.
Beautiful.
Uh, but the competition is stiff.
Mm.
But you'll come through with it. I want to shuffle them one more time and see if there's any
Okay.
indication about what
Thank you.
getting what you're looking for. Yeah, this is the King of Rods. You're going to get the job. The King of Rods and the Queen of Cups. Boy, that sums it up perfectly. The King of Rods is mastery over the business world, and the Queen of Cups is mastery over the emotions.
Oh, nice.
And so you have the masculine and feminine combining, and you have the heart and the mind in sync with each other. It's going to be really good.
Okay.
Naturally, there's
Thank
going to be
you.
stiff competition for something like that, but you can make that happen at anything. I have a feeling that that's what you'll make out of the job. You see, people think I'm going to get a job and it's going to do this for me, but you got to make it do
Hmm.
that, and I think you
Yeah.
intuitively know that.
Hmm.
Um, the Judgment card is here, so this is telling me that it's almost going to be like a rebirth for you. You're entering a very good time.
Oh.
Very
Oh,
good time.
nice.
So keep me posted. I'd love to hear how it goes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Good luck, and I'll light a candle, send a white candle to send positive energy your way to help boost it
Thank
along.
you.
But it looks like you're doing fine. Okay.
All right.
Thanks
Thank you so much.
for calling. Bye bye.
You're
You know, again, for dramatic purposes, it might be good to read a whole bunch of disasters. But you see, there's so many good things that I'm reading now. In 2019, at the end of 2019, I was getting all these cards telling me that people were going to be starting something new in life, and I had no idea why that was coming. That was coming up in almost every reading I did. And then of course the pandemic happened, and so many people had to reevaluate what they did and where they did it and how they did it and why they did it and with whom they did it. I got to use the right who or whom. One goes with a preposition, right? The card showed me that. And of course, that doesn't mean I understood that's what it was. I just remember, you can look at the archives. There's like 300. This is show number 383 or 382. That's a lot of shows, and you can hear the shows from the end of 2019 and see that I'm getting all these aces, which are beginnings for people. And whoa, boy, did we ever get hit hard? Huh? Well, that's past, and things are sprouting, things are growing. Economically, it's tough times now, but it's fertile soil. Joanna in Indianapolis is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, you're breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, no. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I'm not quite making you out. It's
Oh, no. Let me try to get better signal.
oh, it's all broke. Yeah, it's something happening here at my end here, but I can't make out what. It sounds like if anybody ever heard single sideband radio, that's
Oh,
what I'm getting.
no. Dang.
Let me see. How's that?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
See, I can't make out anything that you're saying. Oh, brother.
Will you do a reading on money and work and
Well, that's
whatever.
a little better. Go ahead. I can hear you better now.
Cool. I was looking for a reading on money, work, love, all of it, all of the above.
I hear you. Wonderful. That's great. Millions of dollars worth of technology, and it comes down to, what did you just say? Okay, let's see what we have here. Money and work. I'm getting cards about that, in fact. I had this card earlier. It's the three of coins. That's a person who is doing a job, a specific assignment, either a new job or a temporary job or an assignment within your job, and doing it and completing it and getting it done and being very successful at it and being recognized, and it leads to more work and money. I have the six of coins. That's about getting money, lots of money and good money. It's a card of philanthropy sometimes. And then after that, I have the 10 of cups, which is a happy home. I think it's the third time today I've gotten that. That's I see good results coming in your life from work and from money, with money.
Very good.
Here's the sun, which is health and healing and growth and happiness. Are you looking for new work?
Yes, I am. I have an interview tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful, because I have the ace of rods here, and aces are beginnings, and rods are career and work. So that's let's see what we get underneath that.
Yay.
It's looking good. I've got positive cards here. I got the 9 of rods. It's an interesting card. 9 of rods is a person who's been around the block, and you know what you want, you know what you're doing, you know what you have to do, and you've taken a few hits, but you're still here, and you're much experienced. So I think you'll be doing fine. But that it's good to know about the job interview because the Ace of Rods is about getting a new job.
Love
Let's
it.
see now.
Thank you.
Let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, this is the Eight of Cups. It shows me that you're moving from things in your life that aren't working for you very well to what works for you. So that's good. You're making positive changes in your life, and it's going to be good for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
Let's
have a
see
good
if we
night.
could.
Bye.
Thank you. Happy New Year too, by the way.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's only February. The thing about February, folks, is that my father's birthday is this month because he was born on February 29th. And so he'll be 100 and something years old now, but he's only had a birthday every 4 years. So,
See, I was born January 1st, so I celebrated the New Year with everyone and my birthday.
I'm a few days after you. I'm January 5th.
Fellow
January,
Capricorn.
yeah, and that's the Feast of Fools, which is perfect for me, I'm told.
Me too.
In those days, I'm old enough that in those days, if I had been born on January 4th, I would have been tax deductible for the previous year. But I showed up on January 5th, and I always wondered if my parents held that against me. I don't know. That's a little paranoid, right?
I think it's funny.
Well, anyway, Happy New Year, and it's great talking to you, and you're headed for some interesting stuff, and I will light a white candle to get positive energy to you for the interview tomorrow. How's that?
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Bye-bye now. And let's shuffle it up. We have Fatima, or is it Fatima in Winnipeg?
Yes, it's Fatima.
Fatima, hi, how are you tonight?
Good.
Great. What can I look at for you? We have a few minutes left.
Whatever you feel would be beneficial for me to know at this time.
Okay, let's see what they show. I have two cards here which are interesting together. One is the Ten of Rods, which is about a person who sometimes feels overburdened, takes on more work than possibly she can handle. Does that happen with you?
More words.
I mean, that you feel like you're taking on too much? I'll tell you why I ask, because the next card is the Hanged Man, which I rarely get, which indicates to me that you sacrifice for other people. You do more for other people than a lot of people do. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, well, that's not a good or bad thing. It's just the way it is. But the Eight of Cups is telling me that you don't particularly want to keep doing that because that's the card of somebody moving away from things that are moving. Let's say, forget about moving away, but moving towards better things. So,
yeah,
I see that. I have the feeling that you feel that you're changing. I don't want to say that you go out of your way and neglect yourself, but there's a component here where you're very caring about other people. And of course, I believe that if you don't take care of yourself first, it's not being selfish. You can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first. But you're moving to a space where you're getting to be more comfortable. This is the Nine of Coins, where you're getting to be more comfortable by yourself and of yourself in your own skin. I had this card earlier, which it's not a card. A lot of people think it's a card of loneliness, but it's not. It's about a person who can be comfortable with who she is as herself. And I think I think you're learning. You're discovering yourself after a long time in your life of helping other people and dealing with other people's problems and being loved for it and helping people. But I just think you want something different for yourself for a while.
Yeah.
Now, here's another card I don't get very often, which is the Fool. Now, it doesn't mean you're a fool. That's a card that means that's a card that if there was anything negative in the reading, that card would wipe it out. According to the Romani people, see, I'm learning not to say gypsies. The card of the the card of the fool is the beloved of God. So that's a very, very positive card. And you're a giving and caring person. Here's the Page of Cups, which means that emotion and the things in the heart and feelings are very important to you. The Strength card is here. When you've had to be strong, you've been strong. You just want to move away from that, though. Like I said, you're growing more. You want to be more independent, is what I see. Do you get that feeling?
Yeah.
Well, I see that you're going to make it.
Good.
These are very good cards. This card again. How many times am I going to get this card today? It's the Four of Rods. That's again great happiness, happy home, happiness. Things are.
Yeah.
You're on a path of you're changing. Let me put it that way. One of the weird things about changing is we know we're changing when we start losing our friends because they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. What happened to you, right? Well, you're not the same. Well, of course you're not. You're growing. You're changing. I don't see anything that shows that people have been taking advantage of you. But
No.
you now would like to maybe put yourself ahead of other people for a while and see how that works. And you're going to do all right. I see you're going to do just fine. All the cards are here of the Page of Cups, the Queen of Cups. These are very good in terms of emotional growth and well-being. So I see you doing just fine. Okay?
Awesome.
It's let me just take one more because it's interesting when people go on a I hate to say journey, but yeah, it is a journey. I mean, that's so overused. I'm on my weight loss journey. I'm on my hair loss journey. The thing is that you are on the journey. You are, and I just want to see how that's going to work for you. Well, there's a new career is going to open up for you. That's the Ace of Rods. You're going to, and there it is again, the Sun, healing, health, growth, happiness. You're on a good path, and you're going to change the nature of the work you do, and it's going to be very good. Okay? You're going to have a really good year. You're going to have a good 2024. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Beautiful. Thanks for calling. I got to run. I'm out of time. I've got just enough time to say goodbye to everybody. So thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. And hey, that's it. We've come to the end of the line of another Reverend Eliot's Magickal Window, and we will get back together next week. Yes, we will. If you can believe it, I've now done 2 shows in a row. Let's alert the press, right? I ought to be sending out press releases. That would be fun. I used to send out press releases all the time, and it was very funny to hear news people on television extemporaneously chatting with each other and saying the things I wrote. That's man, that taught me a lot. Everything you see on television is pre-scripted. Even the ad-libbing is written. These guys all have their own writers. They go with the flow of the news writers, but they will always have somebody who they get things from personally to enhance themselves. And I used to send press releases out to things like that to local TV news people just because it was fun. And why not, right? So we'll be back next week at the same time, 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific, to look through the magical window of the tarot. Until then, my website is magick-works.com, magick-works.com. And you can also, there's another website, mojoacademy.org, one word, mojoacademy.org, where you will see marvelous books there, audio, video, all kinds of stuff. But there is a book there that will change your life. There's marvelous stuff there. And I'm mailing out books all the time, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So I will be back with you again next Wednesday, and until then, remember, who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift to the universe. Bye-bye now.